What if the biggest problem with AI today isn't about how smart it is, but about whether we can trust it? We're going to dive into a pretty radical idea. What it takes to build an AI, not just with a powerful brain, but with a conscience that's actually baked into its very core. Let's get right into it.
So let's just start with the big question that's kind of hanging over the whole industry. Is the AI we're building today dangerously hollow? It sounds like a dramatic word, I know, but you really have to understand what it means to see why so many AI projects are, well, hitting a wall.
So what is hollow AI? Well, imagine a beautiful skyscraper, looks amazing, but it's built without any structural steel inside. It's powerful on the surface, sure, but it's fundamentally unsafe. That's the reality for a lot of AI systems. They can pump out incredible results, but without that ethical core, they create these huge business risks. Biased outputs, decisions you can't explain or audit, and the constant stress of breaking new rules. You end up just constantly putting out fires.
This slide really gets to the heart of the problem. It shows two completely different ways to think about AI safety. On the left, you have the common approach. Governance is middleware. It's kind of like trying to put a cage around a wild animal after it's already gotten loose. It's reactive, it's bolted on. But the alternative over on the right is governance as kernel. And here, trust isn't an afterthought, it's literally compiled right into the AI's operating system. It's proactive, it's inherent, it's there from the very start.
Okay, so how do you actually fix a hollow AI? Well, the solution proposed here is actually pretty straightforward in concept. Instead of just building a powerful engine, you build a complete being. You give it a brain, and you give it a conscience. So first up, you've got the brain, the Microcore AI OS. And this isn't just some standard operating system that's been tweaked for AI. No, this is a totally new foundation, built from the ground up to make ethics, privacy, and truth the top priorities. Think of it as the super powerful, intelligent engine that's driving every single thing the AI does.
But look, a powerful brain without any guidance, that's a huge liability. And that's exactly where the conscience comes in, the core Sentry framework. This isn't some separate program you run on the side. It's woven right into the fabric of the system. It's the set of essential guardrails, constantly checking on the brain's activity, validating its evidence, and making sure every single action stays within safe, ethical boundaries. It's basically the AI's live moral compass.
And this, right here, this gets to the heart of the entire philosophy. The goal isn't to build a yes-man AI that just mindlessly parrots back what you tell it. The real goal is to create a true intellectual partner, one that's literally designed to challenge you, to question your assumptions, and to transparently explain how it's thinking. It's a system that values truth way more than just being agreeable.
So what does this actually look like in the real world? Okay, let's take an example. Imagine you feed the AI a biased report that claims sales are down because young employees are lazy, a totally unsubstantiated claim. A hollow AI would probably just summarize that bias for you. But this system, it works differently. First, its anti-sycophancy framework immediately kicks in and questions that unsupported premise. Then, the evidence-gated claims mechanism starts searching for actual proof, finds none, and rejects the claim. Third, the core Sentry conscience logs this entire chain of reasoning, creating a perfect, tamper-proof audit trail. And finally, because this is a high-risk claim, the system flags it for a human expert to make the final call. But, how can you be sure it's actually working like it's supposed to? Well, the proof is in a whole suite of transparency tools. You get a trust dashboard that's like a live window right into the AI's reasoning. You have breadcrumb audit trails that create an unchangeable record of not just the final answer, but the entire journey it took to get there, the why behind the what. And critically, for any high-stakes decision, a human review isn't just an option, it's a mandatory built-in part of the whole process.
And it's so important to get this. This whole thing isn't just about doing the right thing. The real genius here is that it transforms something most companies see as a total drag, regulation and compliance, into a rocket engine for their business.
You can see the fundamental difference right here. On one side, you've got conventional frameworks like the EU AI Act. Now, they're essential sets of rules, but they're just that, rules. It's up to each company to figure out how to follow them, usually after something's already gone wrong. But the Alosia framework is an actual system. Governance isn't just a guideline, it's a function built into the core. Enforcement isn't a reaction, it's happening in real time. It's literally the difference between having a map and having a self-driving car with the destination already programmed in. And building this kind of foundation, this bedrock of trust, it doesn't just solve the problems we have today. It actually unlocks a completely new way of thinking about how we're all going to interact with computers in the future. This new foundation makes something called the exit-to-agent paradigm possible. Just imagine a future where you're not juggling a dozen different apps on your phone. Instead, you have one single trusted AI agent. You just tell it what you need. Hey, book me a flight and a hotel for my conference in Tokyo, and it handles everything securely in the background. It sounds like science fiction, I know, but it's the logical next step. And that future is absolutely impossible to build on a foundation of hollow AI. It demands an agent that you can provably, verifiably trust.
And that right there brings us to the fundamental bet being made here. The next $1 trillion of value in AI isn't going to come from making models marginally bigger or faster. It's going to be unlocked by the one thing that's been missing all along: verifiable trust. That's the infrastructure that will finally let businesses use AI for their most critical operations. That is the real prize.
So we'll leave you with this thought to chew on. As we build these incredibly powerful AI systems, is it possible that the single greatest innovation we can make isn't actually in processing power, but in principle? Is a built-in conscience the final missing piece of the puzzle we need to unlock AI's true potential for all of us? Thanks for tuning in.